Let's add a couple more color notes and see what we can do with all this information if we so desire.
I was showing you stuff.
The key to the 7th note is we're going to play a couple things like a +2, a 5, and a 6. Okay? Which are kind of cool. I like them a lot. I use them a lot. So, we're going to take it. I'm going to take a basic G chord. And I'm going to put an A note on it, which is the 2nd.
Play a G chord.
On a G chord, I'm going to add an A note. So that's an A. That's a G +2. That sounds like this. Or I can add it up here. Okay. Do it on the ukulele. Where's my A notes?
You have an A string, you just lift up your finger.
Or you can add, this is the G string too, and you can add it to the top like this.
Alright, up here?
Very top string, yeah. This is a G string. The 2nd fret on the top string.
So here's the deal. Once we know what our thing is, when we want to start adding different colors to what we're playing, we can put an A note on there because it's in the scale. We can put an E note, double the E note if we want. We can depending on how many strings you have, you can double the 5, or you can add a 6. Okay? So if we're going to play a C6, we're going to play a major, which is, we're going to count up 6 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to add an A note to the key of C. And that's going to become a C6. So it's going to be C, E, G, and the 6th note is going to be A. So here. Okay?
That's the tuning of you.
Just open?
Yeah, C6.
Perfect. Then we don't have to do anything. I like that.
That's our favorite chord, yeah.
C6 marks an A minor too, right?
A minor 7.
A minor 7th. Okay. We'll show they're the same chord. They're just inverted different. So how do we do that? What good is this going to do us if we can ask ourselves? So let's play. If I play a G chord, I mean a G scale. It's a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Oops, sorry. I can play any note that I add to this G chord. It's going to be in that scale.
Except if it's a dominant 7.
Yeah, dominant 7 would be the exception, but you can hear how out that is though. These are in the scale. So here I'm going to add an A note. Here's my G chord. I'm going to add an A note. I'm going to add a B note. Double in a B. I'm going to add a C note, which is actually the sus. I'm going to add a D note, an E note, which is the 6th, and that's the G again. So that allows me to do things like, if I'm just playing like a simple folk thing, I'll be... These are all in the scale. So you can do the same thing with the ukulele. So find notes that are in the scale, and then you can add to your color. Okay, everybody with you? So if we play it, what do they look like when people write them out? A G. Well, let's keep it simple. A C2 is going to be C, E, G, and a D note. C, E, G, D. Okay. We're already playing the 3rd, so it doesn't really matter. The 4th is a sus. The 5th is already there. So the other note we can add is going to be a 6th. So a C6 is going to be an A on there. So it's going to be C, E, G, and A. 1, 3, 5, 6. And that's a very melodic sounding chord. It's very pretty. Everything's in the scale, so it has a nice sound to it, no dissonance to it. Okay? Now, the big question is, what happens when we get up? Why isn't this a ninth? The C second? The reason is, you don't go to 9 or 13 chords until you put in a dominant seventh. It's actually a ninth and a 13th. Technically, is going to be a 5-note chord. So a C ninth, the difference between a C second, you're going to play a D. A C ninth, you're going to be playing a D2. Also, I should say, a D also. D2, and D also. But what makes a difference is you have the flat 7 in there. So yeah, so a C9, which I don't know how many times you're going to be able to play that on a ukulele.
Because you only got 4 strings.
Right, but you can leave the third out because the third is a wimpy note anyway. So you can so let's say you want to analyze. Oh yeah, I want to play a C9 note. Well, what's the best note to get rid of? If you have a bass player and he's already playing the C note, you may want to get rid of the C. Okay, that gives you an E, a G, and a B, which technically is an E flat minor 7 flat 5. Okay. I told you to take a nap anytime you want, so it's okay. It's all right. Anybody snoozing off here, it's all right. I know I'm confusing myself here, so don't worry. But I'll tell you, I'm going to put this all together for you a little bit here, okay? But you notice how what you're doing is you're adding to the chord structure. This is kind of more for Peg and you guys that are a little bit more advanced. You can get rid of the C note, because if you're playing a ukulele and a C9 comes up, well, if you have a bass player, you don't really need the C note. Okay, so the bass player is playing here, so I'm going to find the rest of the chord. And the ukulele, play an E minor or something. So now you're playing a C chord, because I'm playing the root note.
Okay.
Okay, you follow that? So that's, like I was telling Mike that sometimes you'll see a jazz trio. Well, why do they have a bass player? Well, because that frees up the keyboard player to do more color notes and things with his hands, so he's not responsible to play this note that's holding it down. The bass player's already doing it.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
When you see your chord and it has a slash and a note behind the slash, that is the note that the bass player would usually jump on as a bass note, because the person with 4 strings can't play it. Or maybe one that you sing, or one that you add in. You can add it in, but usually Eric would do it.
So maybe what you're looking for is, like, even if you have 2 ukulele players, if the first ukulele player is playing the straight ahead C chord, you could play your E minor and I'll play the C chord. So you could add the color notes, kind of thing, and the other person could be playing the straight chord, and so that you always want to have the name of the chord someplace in there, unless you're playing way out stuff. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
So you do that with all the notes?
Yeah, well, actually, you can close your eyes. You can close your ears on, Mike.
It's fun.
Let's write down the C. Let's take a look at this. So you guys can, if you ever do your own analyzation. Let's make a C9 chord. It's going to be a C, an E, and a G, right? And then we're going to need the dominant 7th, which is a B flat, right? And then we're also going to need the 9th, which is a D. So if we get rid of the C chord, now we got an E, a G, a B flat, and a D. Well, if you look at that,
That's a race stuff.
this is a flat 5, like a regular. An E minor chord is going to be E, G, and B, right? This is a minor chord, an E minor, right?
And this is.
So what you're doing is you're flattening the 5.
What's the name of this chord now?
Okay, let me start over again.
Wait, what do you call the name of the chord? Is it
It's a C9.
Okay.
Oh, C9, okay.
Say the music says C9, okay? You with me? The notes are going to be C, E, G, B flat, and D, okay? So if you get rid of your C note because the bass player is playing it, that leaves you with an E, a G, a B flat.